My question for the panel is, why did Jesus tell Mary not to touch him until after he was resurrected?
That is I don't think I've ever heard that question before, but it's an interesting question. Why do you think, Pastor Glaze?
Well, I think it's tied up in the word touch, which the Greek word actually means to cling to or to hold on to. You have to imagine that Jesus had walked with these individuals for 3 years and had met a lot of their needs, had fellowship with him, had, taught them. And so, they were connected very tight to Jesus. And then, all of a sudden he's gone. He died, and after his resurrection, he appears. And so she sees him. I mean, and it's like any of us, that if we thought something happened to one of our family members and, they were in a tragic situation and we found out that they were all right, what's the first thing you're going to do? Man, you're going to go and you're going to hold them and, and our thought, I'm never going to let you go. And so that was Mary, she held to him. And so Jesus was saying, like, God, don't touch me. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, don't hold on to me, that I'm leaving again. It's good that you see me now, but I'm leaving again. So don't hold on to me. We'll fellowship one day in eternity, but for right now, you can't cling to me.
It's almost like the scene of Mount Transfiguration, where all of a sudden Peter, hey, let's build some booths here, and they wanted to camp out there. And that's what she did. She wanted to camp out there, per se, with the Lord. But the Lord said, hey, go tell hey, we got some more work to be done. Amen. Go tell that's as I looked into some of the other commentaries, the fact was, okay, Mary, don't cling on to me, but go tell the disciples I'm going to meet them. Where I told them I was going to meet them after I arose from the dead.
Almost like don't cling to the way things were. Okay. Don't cling to the way my relationship was with you. There's a new era starting here.
I also thought, too, he said, because I haven't yet ascended to my Father. So there was probably something within impurity, I'm thinking, as well. As far as, the Bible talks about how, like, even the Nazarites couldn't touch certain things. So he said, I haven't yet ascended to my Father. So there was still work that needed to be done. So there may have been something with him that was like, okay, it could have been defiled. Like they were talking about in the old ceremonial laws and things, there are certain things they couldn't touch or they would be defiled for it. So he was making sure that when he presented himself before the Father, that even though, hey, he loved them, but you're looking at the perfected Son of God, the perfected sacrifice that is getting ready to appear before the Father. So I've also felt, too, that there's something in regards to impurity, uncleanness, that before he went to the Father, he had to make sure that he had abstained from.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I don't really have anything different to add to that. I do know this. Some scholars do believe that right after that, Jesus took his blood to the heavenly mercy seat and offered that to the Lord, because a week later he was actually talking to his disciples, and there he said, handle me, for a spirit has not flesh and blood. And so I totally agree with Dr. Glaze with what he's saying, but there is that other perspective of perhaps offering that blood in between. I'm not dogmatic on that, but there is an interesting difference between what he said to Mary and then 8 days later what he said to the disciples.
Yeah. Interesting theories. The Bible doesn't really speak to the why of this, but there was something else to do. He had to ascend, and then, like Pastor Mark said, he returned and ate fish and let Thomas put his his hand in his wounds and everything. So good question. Well, let's listen to our next question.